Have you ever wanted to create something, but every time you tried, it felt like it didn't work out, like you were trying to force it? You were trying to create not from the center of your being, from the core of your essence, but from the outskirts, from the circumference of your circle. And when you do that, how does it work out for you? As opposed to whenever you feel like you're in this flow state, you're doing things that align to your core vision, who you truly are at the core level, your core values, everything. When you're creating a vision or you're working on a project or something based out of that energy, how does it turn out for you? So what I want to talk about today is getting to that center point and creating from that center point. Because oftentimes we are so much in our heads that we're not able to truly lock in and focus. We're all up in here, and the core of our being is in here, in our heart. When we create from our heart, we are creating from a place of love, a place of spirit. It's in my opinion the direct connection to the divine, because our heart is the center point of our being, which grounds us not only down to the earth, but also up to the heavens. So it's like that middle ground for us to connect to both worlds. And when we're connecting and creating from our core, we're not creating from our ego, we're creating from our spirit. My name is Cody, and I help people to unlock their consciousness codes that'll set their heart ablaze and step into the doorway of limitless possibilities. So, in order to get back to that center point, what we have to do is we have to start to understand more of ourselves and who we are as a divine consciousness being. We also have to understand what our values are, or at least generally speaking, the things that we are passionate about. And like, what drives that passion? Why are we passionate about these things? When we create from the center, we allow ourselves the room to expand within that circle. And then we can push ourselves to be able to step out of our comfort zone while creating from that core place of beingness. Whenever we attempt to do anything, the way that we approach it is often based on our prior experiences with that thing. And if we are bringing ourselves back to our center and allowing ourselves to be in that flow, well, to be present, first of all, to be present in that moment with ourselves, with our audience, and with what we are doing, it helps to bring our power into that moment so that we can create from that. So from there, we're able to not only step out of our comfort zone, but we can start to connect with people and help people and work with people, which will not only activate that within them, because they will be inspired and they will feel that energy. Because when you're operating from that core place of being, it's like it cuts through the veil, these masks that we have up. It cuts right through that, and it opens the door for us to see and experience a whole new realm of possibilities, which weren't previously there before. Because this entire existence is solely based on really, it's based on how we perceive our reality. Because your reality is dictated by your perception and how you, the lens for which you see your life through. Because everything that you see is going to be interpreted in a specific way. And if you aren't living in your core, if you aren't living from that center point of being, then you're going to easily get distracted. You're going to easily get, um, what's the word? You're going to get distracted, and you're going to get a lot of, your energy is going to be pulled in a lot of different directions. You're going to be more reactive. You're not going to be as grounded within yourself to be able to stand for what you believe in, to be able to, have debates with people, to be able to stand up for what you're passionate about, because you don't feel that power within yourself. You feel disempowered because you're not creating from that core place. But when we start to bring ourselves back into that, that's when everything starts to change. That's when we start to not only perceive things in a different way, but it opens the doorway of possibilities for us to not only tap into our own creative potential, but to also expand that out to others, to inspire others to do the same. I wanted to, there's a quote that I really liked from a couple of different books. One of them is The Land of Gods by, I'll have to, I'll have to put the, Blavatsky, that's what it is, H.P. Blavatsky. So, or Helen Blavatsky. I'm going to read this quote here. It is, "The soul is the product of the centrifugal activity of the universal will, put into action by centripetal activity of the universal imagination." So what does that mean? It means whenever we start to will something into existence, and we start to create from that center point, it's like we're circling around that. And once we start to actually lock in and then bring ourselves and anchor ourselves down into that moment, that is when we start to activate all of these ideas, all this potential inside of us. It's like it just bursts up like a flame, and we start to flow and create and build, and all these things start to flow out of us as if like water. It flows so naturally. The universal imagination is basically like the collective consciousness, in which our external reality is dictated by all of us, by all of our own perceptions, because this is a holographic reality for which we all perceive with our mind, and it projects onto our reality the life that we live, the life that we are living. This 3D world is ultimately just a projection, a holographic projection from our minds, but the universal mind. And everything in this world is created from the imagination. So when as parents, or rather as kids, we're told to not be in our not think so much from our imagination, or not think from that it's not a real thing. But ultimately, the imagination is the only real reality, because everything in this physical existence once existed in the realm of the imagination, for which we brought in to consciousness, into being, and we made it a real physical thing. The next quote that I wanted to read from a book by David Data. "It is as if your deepest purpose is at the center of your being, and it is surrounded by layers of concentric circles, each circle a lesser purpose. Your life consists of penetrating each circle from the outside toward the center." So I'm going to let that marinate a little bit. These circles that surround your center point are layers that we have to pierce through within ourselves in order for us to get to the true essence of who we are. And it doesn't matter who you are. We all have masks that we have worn in order to navigate and survive in this world. And until we learn to pierce through those those veils of consciousness, those veils of ego, really, then we're not going to be able to see the truth in ourselves, the truth in life. We're not going to be able to create from that space. Because when we create from that core, we can really pierce through that veil and chip away at that wall. And, especially when you're connecting with other people, it really helps to break it down bit by bit by bit. And when we're creating from that place, it gets us in a flow state, and we start to really feel that energy. Everyone around us starts to really feel that energy and starts to be ignited by it as well. So just to recap, whenever you are doing anything in life, once you're able to get yourself back to your center point, or rather, the goal should be to be working towards that center point, constantly moving towards it, constantly moving through those various layers of identity that we have put up. And as we move through those, we're going to discover deeper and deeper aspects of ourselves. So it's been a pleasure, my friends. Please like, subscribe, share, comment down below if you have anything to add. I would love to hear anything that you would like to add to that. And I love and appreciate each and every one of you. So thank you so much for being on this soul journey with me. You are appreciated, you are seen, you are loved. Let's step through that doorway together, my friends, and activate those consciousness codes. Peace and love.